like to welcome everybody to Hub Radio. I'm Josh Barnett. This is David Jose. We're here to talk about how the people can force an audit. And I'm going to let David kind of take this a little bit, but you guys have to understand that all political power is inherent in the people. And that seems to have been lost in translation the last however many decades. So we've been taught actually the opposite. We've been taught that there are leaders and that they're going to tell us what to do, and they're going to set laws that tell us what to do, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's just really not the case when you actually learn what the Constitution is and what our rights are. So I'm going to let David take. We were talking about, we'll kind of focus on the election.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, that's a hot topic right now. And with the Board of Supervisors and what they're doing, and with the state Senate with what they're doing, we've been from day one kind of all over them. And we're not trying to be jerks. We're not trying to be jerks to the Senate or anybody in the Senate. We just want what's right.
That's right.
And that's what it comes down to. And we're not trying to not be friends or be friends. We're just, we're neutral in that sense, because we treat this like it's business. And, when you're in business with somebody, it's not good or bad. It's just neutral. We just want to do what's best to get results. Yeah. And that's kind of where we're at. So I'll let David kind of start with whatever topic he wants to start with on this.
Well, when it comes to the elections, I heard Senator Eddie Farnsworth say something that was very powerful on this show, actually. He said that the Board of Supervisors are a political subdivision of the state, which means that the state legislature actually granted them authority. So
they work for the Senate, basically. They're under the Senate.
They're under the authority of, under the jurisdiction of, because they were created by them.
Yes.
So he made a...
But who created the Senate?
Well, this is deep, because he said that they granted authority. So when you have a trust, right, you grant authority by creating a trust document that creates seats. So if somebody's going to carry out an activity for you, they would be a trustee or a servant of the trust. Now, in government, you have the legislature, who are servants and trustees. You have the judiciary, which are servants and trustees, and the executive branch, which are also servants and trustees. Now, what's deep is that Farnsworth said, we granted authority to the Board of Supervisors that we can take away. And I said, amen, that's right. Well, in the same way, the people, right? The people, our forefathers, created the Constitution of Arizona as a people. So before there was any government workers, before there were any seats.
So we granted authority to them. So it's kind of like we were joking about the other night, and I laughed because it was like 11 o'clock at night and I was driving home and I called him up. I don't even remember what I talked about, but I was probably just trying to stay awake. No offense. But what's funny is he made a funny comment. I go, we need to keep that, because that's good, because it's like dads come home. Like, we've let the children screw around, and the children be in the Senate, and dad's not home, so they're doing whatever they want. Now dad's home. Better watch out. So dad's home now. And I kind of referred that to the We the People AZAlliance.com with what we started, what my people have started, in a sense that, we're recalling people.
Yes.
And because dads come home. Now we have people watching and overseeing what's happening in Arizona, and the accountability factor's there now.
Yeah, see, it's huge, because when you have trustees that are your servants, right? You don't ever get somebody and put them in an office until you give them an outline of their job title. So what happens is, if you look at Arizona Declaration of Rights, Section 2 of Arizona Constitution, Article 2, Section 1, you'll see where it tells us, if we want to keep a free government, that we have to have a frequent recurrence to fundamental principles. So if we don't go back to those basic foundational principles of how the government is supposed to work and give them their job description, they'll enslave us.
So them not giving the public transparency in these elections would be probably against Article 2, Section 1.
Well, it'll be against Article 2, Section 2, where all people have, the people have all political power, and the government is put in place to maintain and protect our individual rights. One of our individual rights is to know that the person who is elected, Article 7, Section 7 of the Arizona Constitution, to know that the one with the most legal votes became the elected official.
So that means if it's just the most legal votes would mean that we would have to know if there was illegal votes counted as legal votes.
It would be post-election process.
Right? Now I'm playing stupid because I want people to understand. I had to dumb it down because a lot of people, for whatever reason, and I say this all the time, I can't understand why they can't understand the basics of all this. So we just want to know, and I'll accept whoever wins on the legal votes. But if they're cheating, dead people are voting, 2,300, 2,500 people are registered to a parking lot. Okay, that happens and it happens. But when we have Dominion machines that we know, the ability to rig them it's easy to do, and we know that's why they're really developed from Venezuela years ago, and that's why there's so much fraud that we feel is happening within these machines now that we want these machines audited. Now, let's talk about what we did to try to force the audit through the Board of Supervisors. And
we didn't try.
Well, what we did as the people, as one of the people not in the legislature, what we can do and what we did.
Well, we have the most power. So, like we said, Article 2, Section 2 of the Arizona Constitution lets you know that the people have all political power, right? So understanding that and understanding that they are our service and trustees, I'll give you an example from California Constitution just to help us understand, because the Bills of Rights, the Declarations of Rights from the different states are teaching tools to tell the people what their rights are.
And they're interchangeable.
Yes, because the people have rights all across the country. The United States government accepts every Bill of Rights that's in every state constitution.
And a lot of people do not know that.
Yes.
So.
And in Arizona Constitution, it even tells you just because we didn't write this right here and enumerate it does not mean that it's not one of our rights too. So I'm going to give you an example from California. It's their Declarations of Rights. Theirs is Article 1, Section 3. It says, and this is 3A, the people have the right to instruct their representatives. Now, we just got to stop on that part. How many people do you know that have instructed their representatives in the last 2 years?
Nobody. I think people tell them, or they yell at Facebook, at them, or some social media, they're yelling at them, or go in person and are yelling at them, but they're not giving them proper notice.
They're begging for a statute to be made to protect their rights. They say, I don't want to take a shot. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Can you write some legislation to allow us? No, we are the employers. We are the ones who granted the authority, and we can take it away. So knowing that, it is our duty to instruct the legislature. And because we're not sending them notices, affidavits, or demands, they don't understand that they're supposed to be doing something for us. So then they let the attorneys there tell them what to do.
It's never a good thing. So what we do is with these affidavits that are notarized, by the way, people.
With the jurat.
Yeah, with the jurat, yes. So the affidavit, what it does is you're telling them, this is why I can do this.
Yep.
Here's the constitutionally, this is why I can do this. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity to rebut anything that's in here.
And if you don't do it, you're doing wrong.
And it stands as true at that point.
Yeah, so if a government official, if you tell them, hey, I have the power or the duty to tell you that you're messing up and doing wrong and you're inflicting harm upon us, if I don't tell you, in order to get due care, I have to give you due notice. I got to tell you you're doing something wrong. And I'm going to give you an example from New Hampshire Bill of Rights. Accountability of magistrates and officers. This is in Article 8. Okay. It says all power residing originally in and being derived from the people, all the magistrates and officers of government are their substitutes and agents and at all times accountable to them. Government, therefore, should be open, accessible, accountable, and responsive. To that end, the public rights of access to governmental proceedings and records shall not be unreasonably restricted. This deals with what's going on in Maricopa. We should be giving them notice, telling them what to do, telling them how to fix the issues that they messed up with. And that way they are to be responsive to the people, which we've seen.
And this is one reason why I get so irritated with what's going on, because of the lack of transparency, which is exactly what this is talking about.
Yes,
but we'll
sir.
talk about that later on in the next segment.